Hi, before I terminate this week, I would like to share with you the frameworks and data stores that you will use to build the pet project. It won't be a very detailed presentation because I will give you just the necessary parts to start and help you to understand what we will do. Let me start with the data storage part. The first data store is PostgreSQL. It's a relational database with a great support for SQL standard. We will use PostgreSQL mainly to learn advanced SQL queries and implement our data visualization layer. The second database is Elasticsearch. We will use this document-oriented database as a part of our searching layer. Elasticsearch stores the data in indexes. The index has its own mapping where it defines the expected fields for the documents. And the mapping is maybe the most important point of Elasticsearch because it defines not only the indexed fields, but also the way how they are indexed. And the field can be indexed in different ways. For instance, if you know that a field will be always composed of an ISO code, you can send it like an ISO code. But on the other side, if a field is less structured, like a sentence, you may need to apply some linguistic operations on it, like removing not meaningful words, like prepositions or punctuation symbols. The index is distributed among partitions called shards. In addition to the partitioning, it is also replicated. That means that two different shards can store the same set of documents. And to query the document in Elasticsearch, you need to use the DSL provided by the Elasticsearch. It's a JSON-based language that you can use with a RESTful API. Another method consists on using Java API. Aside from the search engine, we will also work with a columnar database. The most popular open source solution is Apache Cassandra, and we will use it in our exercises. Cassandra stores the data in tables which are grouped in key spaces. Each table has a primary key which is used to define the partition. Like Elasticsearch, Apache Cassandra also supports data replication. And to query data on Cassandra, you will use a Cassandra query language whose syntax is very similar to the SQL. In this course, we will also play with a distributed file system. Among the open source projects, the most popular one is HDFS, belonging to Apache Hadoop library. It works in master-slave architecture where the master manages the state of the file system and the slaves are responsible for the physical storage of the files. The files are stored in blocks of 128 megabytes or 256, and this size is quite important because it has an impact on the number of I/O operations and the volume of the data to manage by the master. The block is also the unit of replication that guarantees better fault tolerance. The data stored on HDFS can be accessed with a Java API, which is pretty well integrated with modern data processing frameworks. All these data stores are adapted to batch-oriented pipelines, but in our project we will also work with some real-time data. And to process it, we will use Apache Kafka, which is a distributed streaming broker. Apache Kafka organizes the data in a kind of collections called topics. A topic is nothing more than a table in the relational database. And inside the topic, we will have different partitions. And as the name suggests, the partitions are the main partitioning unit. The clients move inside a partition by consuming the offset. They can move back, and forward. And finally, the processing part will be implemented with Apache Spark. The distributed data processing framework works in master-slave architecture where the master node coordinates the processing logic. It also plans the whole logic as a directed acyclic graph and sends the processing code to the workers. Apache Spark computation is composed of jobs, and each job has one or more stages, and each stage in its turn is composed of tasks. And such pipelines looks very similar to the code written with functional programming paradigm. You will see there plenty of filter, map, and reduce functions, so if you are a little bit familiar with them from your other experiences, you should be able to switch to the distributed mode very easily. And that's all for now. I wanted to show you the main tools we will use in this course. Of course, during this course we will also use other frameworks like Apache Airflow to orchestrate the pipelines. We will also use a local file system in a lot of cases just to simplify the aspect of processing and to focus really on the processing part. But globally, that's all of these tools that you will find in our pet project. It was one of the last lessons for this week. Thanks for watching.